I'm doing it for my daughter.
That was a good catch.
What were you saying, Sam?
Just for your own reference, Colin Quinn, Our Time Is Up, is a good stand-up special.
No way.
Yeah.
It just came out, right?
4 months ago.
Of course he would.
It's good.
He's good.
Yeah, he is good.
And there's something else you suggested
Colin
I
Quinn's
watch.
kind of brilliant, actually.
What's it called? Our Time to Die.
Our Time Is Up.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, he hung around with the best of the best, and he wasn't. I'm sure they didn't like him because he was not funny. You know?
Yeah, he's kind of.
they didn't like him because he was too funny.
He's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, he had to write jokes in a very, very similar form. I mean, he did news update desk.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like either of them. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like Colin Quinn. I didn't like Norm Macdonald either.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
It's like embarrassing to say because he's like
It's true.
deified. So I didn't like him in SNL. Like
No.
I was like he was like the worst.
Yeah, I remember saying like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
guy's boring." I didn't get it. I was just like, "New
Well, he's so dry. It's it's definitely for adults. It's not.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And I was used to like the
Steve
big
Martin.
characters and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get it. It's Steve Martin stuff.
King Tut.
No, yeah, Belushi, he's the master. You want to know why Belushi was the master? Because he did this one. It was like cheeseburger, 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 Pepsi, Coke.
I'm dead.
Heroin, punk rock. I'm dead.
My brother's gonna have the career that I should have had. Goodbye.
Tommy Morrison beat George Foreman.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now Tommy Hilfiger had a few choice things to say about blacks, didn't he?
They fucking wear my clothes. I wish they didn't. Tommy Hill.
So good, like the Chinese making games like this: no blacks and big tits. You're like this. Oh man, the Chinese are coming around now.
Big
Do you want to watch this?
Diarrhea, making your oil diarrhea in it.
Tommy Morrison asked George Foreman for advice before the fight, and George Foreman gave him advice,
to beat him.
Just
Yeah.
be white.
Whoa.
and it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
But like George Foreman had like stone hand. I remember watching George Foreman like punches a couple
They
months ago.
hurt. The people say they hurt like
He-
hell.
Yeah, he's like, dude, George Foreman's punches didn't look like much, but they hurt like hell. He'd be like,
Oh,
oh,
he's like this. You can see it in his face. He's in pain.
oh no, damn it.
I think Evander Holyfield, he asked his corner if he still had his teeth, and his corner said yes, and he thought his corner might be lying to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boxing's crazy. Wrestling
Yeah, it
and
is.
boxing is like I've been watching a lot of wrestling. things. Like the wrestling lore is
So good.
it's so much fun. The Undertaker's becoming like a really good mouthpiece for like the way they talk about EMTs and ambulances is so crazy. EMTs
What
like
about
crunch bars. It's like so the EMT gets there and they take him on the stretcher and then
Like give him an 𝐷𝐸 just for starters.
they breeze by things that you know are so crazy. Like if it happened to us, like one of us left in an ambulance, we would be like, let's be honest, we would be talking about it like a lot. Like, oh, fucking Charles left in an ambulance. It was crazy.
That's just his ride home.
Yeah. And then I guess he rode home he rode home with the sirens on. Then we went out and he took a bump. And I'm like, wow, these guys.
He fucking died for 20 minutes and they got him back with the defibrillator.
Yeah. Guys playing pranks on each other in the back. I guess they hid Mark Henry's the big wait. What are you looking for?
Oh no, nothing. Here.
Oh.
I shouldn't have been doing that the whole time. There we go. I guess. For fucking 20 minutes like a fucking
You're
Damn.
underneath, you're crawling
I was
around.
better off just doing this without anyone just off. Unbelievable. God. Wow.
No, they were talking about someone hid Mark Henry's crutches. And Mark Henry was like the big black bodybuilder guy that's like I think his stats are like he is the strongest guy in modern era. Like he had like he was on the 2,600 pound club. Like his bench was like 900. His deadlift was like 900, and then his fucking squat was 9. It was just all like, it was like, oh, okay. Fucking. So someone hit his crutches, and then he's like, I'm going to murder everyone in this room. And he like locked the doors and like they believed him where they had like the cops bring him to Canada or something. He had to go to Canada after that, according to like, and he was like, I went because I was dead fucking serious. Guess he thought Shawn Michaels hit his crutches. Guess who did it? It'll be fun. You'll like this.
Owen Hart.
Paul Bearer. Oh, yes. Undertaker.
Wow.
I'm hiding your crutches.
He's got the urn.
Yeah,
He's got his own ashes in the urn.
He's a wicked funny prankster. He's doing like the saran wrap across the doorway.
How do those guys Those guys are crazier than anybody ever.
Ever.
Craziest industry in the world.
Ever.
And Torres.
I didn't sign up for this. Remember Benoit's fucking flying headbutts right into concrete, right off the ropes?
Yes.
Shit, I've seen his face after he comes. It's like scary. Scares the hell out of me, that guy.
Flying head. Roddy Piper didn't want to testify in a trial. He told the Undertaker to tombstone him on the concrete so he could get out of it. He goes, and he like rolled. He's like, so he takes an ambulance out there. I knew he was just trying to get out of taking head injuries to not go home and do shit. And I was like, yo, these guys are
They're mutants.
mutants. We did 2 shows that day. I was in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Then we went to Philly later on that afternoon, and they changed the act up in the middle of the act. And I was like, what?
I'm not doing that. Give me a tombstone on concrete. And Benoit comes a flying headbutt right into concrete off the top rope. Out of the ring, right and through the chairs, right into concrete. He's like this. Looks like he's in hell looking at the devil. It's like the scariest thing ever.
Can we look that up?
Oh, it's
Yeah, dude, Benoit. And then it's always like the guy you don't expect. Like the guys that are like really crazy.
the best technical
Can I
wrestler.
see those crunch bars?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I brought them so we could all
Thank
enjoy.
you.
Oh,
Sorry, it
there's
was
an extra right here, too.
who's the concrete
Chris
guy?
Benoit flying into
Chris, did you look up concrete tombstone?
Chris
I
Benoit.
didn't know the name. I don't know.
Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit.
I mean, I know those guys are crazy, but the shit that he did, people don't do.
Yeah.
Like people don't do that. That they don't do that. Only in movies.
Flying headbutt.
Like sometimes women they get freaking drown their children in a fucking tub or
There's a
something like that. But
compilation.
men don't do that.
Is it the seizure? There it is.
Gonna do what I think, is he? Oh no, come on. Oh, Chris.
He's sauced up.
Think about this now. Benoit, you can't do this. Benoit on the top of a 16-foot ladder. Oh, he did it! A death-defying leap.
He's doing the breakdancing. Is that what she got her shit?
Stitches. Look at him, just opened himself up. Benoit came into the match with 25 stitches.
He looks like he's having fun. He's like,
Can we look up Chris Benoit highlights?
Dude.
It's a headbutt
Wait a
compilation.
minute, look at him. Benoit.
He's headbutting 2 guys. It's just 2 of them. He's headbutting 1.
Rikishi's in trouble. The flying headbutt. And it could be it. Forgiven Billy. Actually, Kane got the bell. Oh, man.
the bell is on the front of the ring.
Presence of mind. And Benoit with a headbutt.
It's like the special move he does against himself because he's in so much pain when he does that.
It's the stupidest move. It's the most harebrained move.
Yeah.
But there's ones when he goes out of the ring and his head hits the ground. Like fucking so much.
Maybe we'll find. Maybe it's in here.
Taking the steal it. It's Benoit.
Like I know I put a picture up somewhere.
Top rope. Will we fly?
The one. Isn't there a different wrestling league where they do more extreme shit with like glass?
3
and
minutes
shit?
long.
He looked like this after he got hit.
Oh.
Like he did not look right.
Oh,
Like he looked
no.
like he went into concrete and he looked like he was seeing in another dimension.
Yeah, he was though.
He definitely was.
To be fair,
Yeah.
but like, who was it? They said like Kane was really strong, and Brock Lesnar was like a real
I
psychopath.
love the cocaine.
Oh, it's super fun. It's like NFL lore and stuff like that's pretty good. It's always like cocaine and like strippers and shit like that, and like a couple of fist fights and everything.
I spent all my money. Yeah.
Yeah, big deal. I went to the Range Rover dealership. I bought one in every color. Like, okay, cool. These guys are like, well, we were at a bar somewhere, and fucking guy comes out of nowhere with a baseball bat. We shoved it up his ass.
I took a few hits to the noggin. I thought he was joking.
Oh man, like
Scary.
they're all flipping out in the back rooms doing like it's basically them like making pranks, stinking,
Oh, like Andre the Giant, diarrhea shit.
shitting on people. Andre the Giant would drink 60 beers and cases of wine
And seafood.
and seafood and clams and be like, "Hey, everybody, what's up?" And then if he didn't like you, he would fart on your fucking face. And one time, there's a story that he shit all over a guy.
Then Bam Bam, he's puking.
Can
He's
you
puking.
can you imagine getting shit on by a giant? Like a literal full of clam and wine and beer shit.
Disgusting.
And this guy wasn't. He was a giant. Like, what was his height? He was like a monster,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
7'2", like 505 or something. Like 7'4".
That's pretty big.
See, he would just shit. He didn't even you could just shit on somebody while he's standing because his butt would be in your face.
A big goofball.
500 pounds.
Can you imagine the size of the shit?
Drinking a 30 rack just to get warmed up. He must have freaking giant genetics or some sort of mutant. It's like Wolverine, Weapon X or something. Like those guys can't be normal.
I think it's a glandular malfunction.
What, when you're giant?
Yeah, gigantism.
Hmm.
That's what it's the pituitary gland, right? Can you look up his
That makes
Wikipedia?
sense.
That's the who's that motivational speaker?
Tony
Oh,
Robbins.
Tony Robbins has that.
She shits on people.
Mutant.
You'll be better. Fix yourself inside your
He
brain.
puts on Princess Bride. I was in that.
Hello, Charles. I have a bellyache. Sit beneath me. Time for me to go caca.
Bam Bam Bigelow's puking.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Acromegaly, is that something?
Acromegaly, right? Did get surgery.
Acromegaly.
Get pituitary gland.
Hmm.
But what did this guy have here? Paul White, better known as Big Show.
Oh, that's Big Show.
More similar in body structure to Rusimov.
Yeah.
Try not to chew on the mic too much.
Oh,
there.
sure.
Can you type in GIG in search in the first? Yeah, there you go. I want to know what his fucking thing is.
Bebe's kids.
Displayed symptoms of it. So was he never diagnosed with anything? What's the third match for GIG? Okay, great.
I'm pretty. Yeah, it's definitely the pituitary.
El
gland thing.
Gigante
I don't want
syndrome.
to just make shit up though. I want to just know. I want to actually know the thing that I'm trying to know. Like I want to know what it is. I don't want to pretend like I know what it is.
He got
He
surgery on
got
it?
surgery on the early 90s, which successfully halted the progress of his condition.
Acromegaly, which Andre the Giant had, was a disorder in the pituitary gland which results in the overproduction of growth hormones. And he might have had some other problem. Acromegaly.
Alcoholism.
It makes you fun to talk to and hang out with.
And cool looking.
Makes you have a good personal
It
life.
makes you look cool.
It makes you be handsome in the face. Look at Andre the Giant's face. He's the most. If that's not the most frightening face you've ever seen in your life, you like Andre the Giant should have been a serial killer and he wasn't. So good for him. He was a pro wrestler.
He's French, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is even weirder because that's like the last.
It's weird.
That's like the last like European I would have guessed had be giant, even though they have old genes.
Well, it's a birth defect, so it's some sort of like it's a disease. You know, it can happen. You can have Koreans and anybody with this thing.
Yeah, we got Robert at
Get a
8'11".
Big
Robert
Filipino.
Wad.
Get a big Filipino with that shit on it.
I bet
8 foot
I
tall
would,
Mexicans.
I'd pay to see a 7 foot tall Filipino.
You might see one.
Is there a 7 foot tall Filipino?
I bet. Can you type in Filipino with gigantism? Now I got
Wow.
the nicotine going, so let's get this going here. Filipino with gigantism, Chris. Or Filipino gigante. Giant Filipino has a huge. What's that? We gotta find that.
Wow.
We gotta find that sound effect that you hate, Nick. Also, and just
The chipmunk chuckle.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, chipmunk chuckles the.
There you go. There's your 8 foot tall Filipino. Nick.
Log in.
Got him for you.
Oh. He works on a cruise ship.
Now, why doesn't he wrestle?
Yeah. Lady boy. He's a lady boy.
He's a lady boy.
Oh,
Lady boy with gigantism.
I'm not looking that one
do
up.
not search that.
Search that.
Can we see who would be interesting?
Wow.
Did you want to watch that? I know there was earlier.
I want to see a pygmy with gigantism.